The wedding we've all been waiting for is finally here, and sadly, it was anything but matrimonial. Welcome to the Grab Some Popcorn podcast. Today we're talking Euphoria Season 3, Episode 3. Not too much happened last week, so I skipped Episode 2, but if you need a quick recap, Maddie and Cassie are somehow cool again. Now jumping into Episode 3, we start off with a little bit of Jules and what she's been up to, and honestly, it's not great. She's basically pimping herself out for money, which already tells you where her life is headed right now. She and Rue eventually attend Cassie's wedding, and let me tell you, it is glamorous, expensive, and exactly the kind of over-the-top event you'd expect. You can tell the whole thing is eating Maddie alive just being there, which honestly makes you question why she even went in the first place. We also get a reunion between Jules and Nate's dad, and if you know their history, you already know how uncomfortable that dynamic is. Now I'll be honest, for how much HBO promoted this wedding, I thought it was a little underwhelming at first, but things definitely got more interesting when that gangster showed up and pressed Nate right in front of his wife. That moment really made it clear that Nate is in way deeper than we thought. The show has hinted at his problems before, but now it feels like everything is finally starting to catch up to him. Meanwhile, Rue abruptly leaves the wedding to head to Laurie's house and try to cut some deal between her and Alamo, and let's be real, there are definitely some ulterior motives here. Back at the wedding, things only get worse as Cassie and Nate's issues keep rising, and the cracks in that relationship are impossible to ignore. It almost feels like things might settle down until Cassie and Nate get home, and that same guy from the wedding is waiting for them. At that point, you realize Nate's wedding night couldn't have gone much worse. I'm still not sure why he chose to cross those people, but now he's clearly out of options. Later, Rue gets pulled over by the DEA, and Laurie's bird ends up dying because of whatever Bishop did while they were there. That moment feels like the beginning of something much bigger. Overall, if I'm being honest, I thought this episode was a little underwhelming, just like the last one. Euphoria is really good at making you want to see what happens next, but sometimes it just feels like the show is just breadcrumbing you instead of actually moving the story forward. Nate really doesn't have many options left with those people wanting their money, and Maddie showing up to the wedding still didn't fully make sense to me. Honestly, it felt more like it was done for promotion than the story, because she barely said a word to Nate or Cassie the entire time. It didn't even feel true to her character. The death of Laurie's bird is definitely going to spark an all-out war, and now Rue has law enforcement watching her while she's stuck right in the middle of a drug war. At this point, it feels pretty safe to predict that Rue may end up working with the police, but we'll have to see how it all plays out. Alright, y'all, that's all I got for this episode. Be sure to comment, let me know what you thought of the review, let me know what you thought of the episode. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.